Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Peace, love, and harmony to all of you wonderful deep divers. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Look, let's talk about this story, which is everywhere, deep divers, like everywhere. The Titan submarine, Ocean Gate, 13,000 feet deep, 13,000 feet down, going to see the Titanic wreck. And it's gone missing. No one knows where it is. No one can find it. All in pursuit of seeing the Titanic wreckage. And this Ocean Gate story is everywhere. Well, you see, someone actually asked me, they're like, Ralph, can you make a video on it, please? Give us your thoughts about it, your perspective. Absolutely. We're going to talk about it. And we got a whole lot to talk about. I want everybody to hit that like button if you support the real. Deep divers, hit that like button if you support the real. We're about to dive deep, no pun intended. So, Ocean Gate, 5 people on board. They went down to go and see the Titanic wreck, and they haven't made it back. Time is running out. Time is running out, deep divers. They only have a limited supply of oxygen. Now, many experts are saying it's already too late because they lost communication at 1 hour, 45 minutes in. And there is no hope of survival. In fact, less than 1%, some experts are saying. At the same time, they're still trying to do everything they can to save them. But we're going to talk about lessons to be learned from this situation. What can we learn from it? We're also going to talk about things they're not talking to you about, things they're not telling you about Ocean Gate and the Titanic wreck, and also the Titan submarine going down to see it, things they don't want you to know. And we're also going to talk about how we can use this situation to become our greatest versions. So something that is tragic, we're going to make it positive and learn from this situation. We got a whole lot to talk about. So if you ask people what their worst fear is, once again, it's like being deep down under the ocean, under the sea, where no one can see you, find you, hear you, none of that. You're lost. The ocean swallows. And this story has really made headlines, the Ocean Gate story. And first of all, like I said, I want to send good energy to everyone on board. I hope they make it out, but hope is dwindling. And good energy to people who know someone on board. It must be awful to know that your loved one is on board going to see the Titanic, a tiny submarine at that, cramped in. But like I tell you, deep divers, even in the most horrendous situation, you can always take something positive out of it. There's always a positive in every negative situation. I like that. Slow motion. There's always a positive in every negative situation. So there's always a positive for this because we can learn from this situation to say, okay, human beings are very curious, and curiosity killed the cat. Satisfaction brought it back. But unfortunately, they haven't come back, and they did not make it back. And this is a big lesson. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? So when I heard about this story, deep divers, it really made me raise my eyebrows and say, oh my gosh, there are people who are still going down to see the Titanic after all these years that is sunk. And people are paying a lot of money to go and see it, right? People are paying actually $250,000 a ticket to go and see it. A once in a lifetime opportunity. On board, you had a French engineer. You had the CEO of the company Ocean Gate on board, okay? You had 2 billionaires on board, a British billionaire, a Pakistani billionaire, okay? You also had the CEO on board, Stockton Rush, who is operating it with a PlayStation controller. That's crazy. You also had a 19-year-old on board, the son of the billionaire Pakistani. So it is a sad situation for those who have lost their lives on the Ocean Gate. But there's also a very important lesson to be learned from this. First of all, let me play you some clips, deep divers. So as you can see, they are all huddled in, 5 people in a very tiny submersible. Limited supply of oxygen. In fact, it's running out. Some people are saying it's already run out because they didn't test the 96 hours of oxygen. So let me play you this video from the guy who runs this whole operation, the CEO. Just watch this, deep divers.
We are inside the submersible Titan, which is a carbon fiber and titanium sub that can go to the depths of the Titanic. Hi, my name is Stockton Rush. I'm the CEO and founder of OceanGate. Let's take a look at Titan. So we're coming into the sub. This is the only toilet available on a deep diving submersible. Best seat in the house. You can look out the viewport. We put a privacy screen in, turn up the music, and it's very popular. We have our control screen here, our sonar screen here, and we can put any image we want in the back. We've taken a completely new approach to the sub design, and it's all run with this game controller and these touch screens. So if you want to go forward, you press forward. If you want to go back, you go back. Turn left, turn right, go down, go up. And it's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple of spares on board just in case. This is the second year we've...
So you're telling me that people have paid $250,000 to go and see the Titanic wreckage by something being operated by a PlayStation controller. Now, I know that it's a lot more sophisticated than that because I'm smart. I know that that was more like a PR move to say, hey, it's only being controlled by a PlayStation controller. But still, it's only being controlled by a PlayStation controller. And that's frightening, right? Because it shows that a lack of thought has gone into the design. In fact, many people call it an experimental design, because it's made out of carbon fiber and titanium, which has never been done before, right? It's not supposed to happen like that. And these 5 people on board, I can't even imagine what they're going through. It must be awful to be deep down under the ocean. You thought you would come out, but no, you're trapped. You saw the state of the toilet. It's tiny. And like I told you, the ocean is not a thing to play with. We've only actually explored 5% of the ocean. Only 5% of the ocean is explored. So that means 95% of the ocean is a mystery. It's unexplored, never gone to. We don't know anything about it. So we have to always humble ourselves in the ocean. You know, many of humanity's problems emerge because they want to be saying, I've done this, I've done that. But you got to be very careful when you're going down to these depths. 13,000 feet is not a joke. Even Navy submarines don't go. Even Navy submarines don't go. They don't go that far down. They don't go that far down, deep divers. This is going 13,000 feet. It's crazy. Listen to this.
I'd like to be remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, you're remembered for the rules you break. And, you know, I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did. It's picky.
What did he just say? There's a rule you don't do that. Carbon fiber and titanium. There's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did. And sometimes when you break rules and don't really do the science to it, the costs can be deadly. I want to play you another video, deep divers. Listen to this.
The passengers on the Titanic sub are gone, and I don't say that very lightly, but I was an anti-submarine officer. Let me explain some stuff. Around 1 o'clock today, article said they had about 40 hours of breathable air, so they're down to about 37 now. But even if they find this submarine, which is going to be very difficult to pick up on sonar because of rocks and other objects in the water, they won't be able to actually lift this submarine out of the water or open any of the doors or hatches. When an object is, say, in the middle of the ocean, you have buoyant forces that can push up. But this submarine is at the very bottom, likely on the seabed, at 13,000 feet, which means that 100% of the buoyant forces is in the downward direction. It would literally take an act of God for that submarine to come back up. When I was in the Navy, we had what's known as the WQC-2 Gertrude. It's an underwater microphone you can basically listen. And while I was doing a tour in the Middle East, specifically in the Persian Gulf, there was an Iranian sub that went down to the bottom. And it was one of the saddest things because you wanted to help them, but we were not allowed to. And we could physically hear on the Gertrude the sailors banging on pipes asking for help. There was nothing that we could do. At the beginning, there was lots of bangs. Bang, 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 bang. And as time progressed, the bangs got slower. Bang, bang. Pretty depressing, to be honest. So I don't really like saying it, but condolences to these individuals and their families. Like I said, it'll take literally an act of God to pull something like that 13,000 feet from under the water. And divers can't really help there. They could cut it open, but the second you do that, you'll have water pouring in it super fast. It would crush.
So you're hearing from individuals who do this, right? And there was some banging heard on the side of the ocean gate. But once again, even if they locate them, to pull them out is going to be a big task. So what can we learn from this situation? Let me show you something, deep divers. This is very important because this shows that actually what went down there should not have gone down there. The Titan submarine was ill-equipped. It was an experimental design, and it could not be so far down the ocean. It should not be that far down. Lockridge learned that the viewpoint manufacturer would only certify to a depth of 13,000 meters. No, 1,300 meters. Due to experimental design of the viewport supplied by OceanGate. That's very important. So Lockridge learned that the viewport manufacturer would only certify to a depth of 1,300 meters due to experimental design of the viewport supplied by OceanGate, which was out of the pressure vessels for the human occupancy, PVHO standards. OceanGate refused to pay for the manufacturer to build a viewport that would meet the required depth of 4,000 meters. Oh my gosh, deep divers. So I told you that they made mistakes. They cut corners. And this OceanGate, it wasn't even certified to go down 3,800 meters, which is where the Titanic wreckage lies, 4,000 meters. It was only certified 1,300. So a big mistake they made was going so far down. And this is a lesson. When we talk of becoming our greatest versions, don't cut corners. There were security measures which were breached. And it's cost the lives of 5 people. Like I told you, in the ocean, you don't play. In fact, on Twitter, there are so many memes going around, like people are thinking it's a joke. You got to remind yourself, this is someone's son. A mother has lost their son. Because you see, people think this is funny. It's not funny. If you know someone on board, it's not funny. But it's also something we have to learn from, that human beings must stop trying to play God. Yes, we need to take risk in life. In fact, that's why we have the aeroplane. The Wright brothers had many trials and tribulations. Many aircrafts got lost on the way to building this new aircraft that we are in today that can take us over the friendly skies to somewhere new. But they had to try and test it. And this is something which seems like it was just put together with little thought about the true security of the people on board. It's almost like, hey, let's try this out. Let's use a a PlayStation controller like it's a joke, like it's a video game. And, you know, there's a saying that play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And we have to be aware that the ocean swallows. The ocean swallows. Doesn't care how much money you have. Doesn't care if you're a billionaire, your status. You have to respect the laws of the ocean and realize that everything before going down to the ocean, you have to know what the hell you're doing. So once again, like I say, I hope they make it out. I hope they're found by some act of God, but it's looking unlikely. I'm a realist. The lesson we can learn for those people, condolences to them, condolences to the family members. Humanity has to do better. I want everybody to hit that like button and share this video. Hit that like button and share this video. Deep divers, because everybody out there needs to see this. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? Go and check out the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the-book, the Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version. Also, the latest book of 1111 Infinite Quotes, the Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version at ralphsmart.com/the-book. Also, go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. Deep divers. Let me tell you this. We can learn so much from this situation. We can learn. Anything that is just put together, no security checks, no testing, be aware of. Money can't buy you everything, especially not life. That's a slow motion. To everyone who's here, I love all of you deep divers. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Once again, deep divers, make sure you hit that like button, share the video. Leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation. And take care of yourself. Take care of yourself today, deep divers. One love. Peace.